for being here. My name is Marcelo Ishida. A little bit about myself, real quick. As you see, I'm a Brazilian guy, so yes, it's very cold for me. As you know, Brazil is a tropical country, right? It's super cold for me. Some of the things I love the most, I love being a speaker. I've been speaking for some time, some other sessions. You may see me around here before. Of course, love my family, number one thing for me, right? My son, my wife. And we love to travel around and know the world together, right? And part of the great job I have at Cisco is taking care of global accounts with customers based in EMEA. That's why I'm also here. So during the presentation, guys, feel free to ask questions. I have a very short time here. I'll try to show you as much as I can. But I mean, if there is no enough time, I'm gonna be aside here after the presentation in case you guys have any questions, okay? Okay, let me jump in. Before that, at this point in time, you guys may already know, right, about the app. There is a WebEx Teams room created only for this presentation. I'm going to be monitoring up to the end of the week, the event. So if you guys have any further questions later on, feel free to post it there. I will do my best to monitor and get in touch with you. Okay. The agenda. We have 3 topics. I'm going to run a quick intro about AI in case you don't know what is AI at this point, right? Probably you already know a lot, or at least listen to these little words thousands of times already, right, in the event. Then I'm going to jump in 2 use cases. The way I like to send a message is normally I try to create like a common situation from our daily basis, which I think is more easy for everyone to understand what I'm talking about. And over that situation, I put some new concepts, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So then after that, I'm going to try to do the same scenario, but then using Cisco AI Assistant. How many of you have heard about Cisco AI Assistant here? Just for me to know. Okay, cool, great, okay. So then, let's start, guys. Let's start talking a little bit about AI. I don't know if you saw this picture before. Oops, it's a little bit dark. I don't know if you saw this picture before, but basically, it's showing that not only Cisco, but AI is not new, actually, right? It's been played for a long time. If you Google AI, and you put like Wikipedia AI, you're going to see a lot of stuff coming out of 1970s and moving forward, right? So, but what is most top of mind right now is 2 keywords, generative AI and agentic AI. How many of you are playing your companies with one of those keywords? Let's talk about generative first. Anybody here? Okay, cool. How about agentic? Anybody? Okay, cool. I think one of the things great is that I'm going to speak a little bit about that, but basically AI is changing literally everything. What I mean with that is I like to give you an example on my daily life with my family. I don't know how many of you use AI, right? There are a bunch of chatbots, right, that help us do better like regular tasks today. One of the things, for example, I go plan the weekend with my son, right? He's like 9 years old. So what I do is, sometimes I get out of the new ideas, right? And then what I do is I just type in the whatever AI chatbot. There are plenty of them free, right now. And then I just ask, hey, my son has 9 years old, what can I do? I live in São Paulo, in Brazil. So what kind of fun stuff I can do with a kid of 9 years old? And guess what? I don't know if you ever tried this kind of thing. But the point is, it gives a complete list, and you can keep iterating and asking, I didn't like that option, give me another one, those kind of iterations. The good news is, this is here for the good. But of course, it will always still need us as humans, right, to interface the correct way. And that is the safest place, I would say, for the ones that are kind of afraid of losing their job because of AI and blah, 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 right, those kind of things, right? How many of you use AI today as my example? Here. Now you see much more people, right? So I'm seeing that the great thing is you guys are really into the AI. Maybe not inside your companies, but playing with that outside of the company, it gives already a lot of background for you to start thinking ahead of putting that into your company, right? Let's move forward. 2 things I mentioned before. Generative AI and agentic AI. what is basically the difference? There are plenty of different descriptions around that, but the way I like to put it is very, very clear and easy. I like to simplify my example. So generative AI, for me, I would simplify as like the chatbots, as I just gave the example, right? Just ask a question, help me plan my next vacation for next July or next December, right? Here are some of the things I like to do. So keep that in mind or consider that into your answer, those kind of things. Those are the generative AI. Agentic AI is a little bit different. It gives an additional intelligence over that. It's not going to only answer you, but rather, in this example, it would do a quick research about yourself, looking at your Facebook profile, Instagram, whatever. Oh, I noticed he went to Asia Pacific, he went to Europe, so looks like he likes this kind of thing, so let me try to better shape. This is the way I like to call the agentic AI wave. Of course, I'm simplifying, but as I told you, I like to put my explanations in a more simple way so you understand the concept, right? Because if you understand the concept, it's easy for you to move forward, okay? For Cisco, what's in it? Today, I'm going to speak about AI assistant, and that is a generative AI. It's already in many of our solutions. The one I'm going to talking about today in our use case is about Meraki, okay? But we also have AI Canvas, Cisco Workflow, and if you're interested in exploring a little bit more, this whole booth here is all about that. You can just spend some minutes in some of the demos. They're going to give you a nice storytelling, a nice play with some nice screens, some nice solutions with each of those things inside, okay? Let's move forward. Before I forget, there is one thing that Cisco started like 3 years ago. It was like what we call readiness assessment. What is that? It's actually a pool that Cisco chose people in AI leadership from different industry, around 80,000, 40 senior business leaders somehow involved with AI, right? And the organizations of that size, 500 plus employees, 30 markets, 18 industries. If you want to scan, it's really interesting, it's for free. You can download this report. It comes with a bunch of information. And the great thing is that I said 3 years, right, when Cisco started this. So it keeps updating. So you can have access to the first one and see what changed across the time, okay? It's really interesting. I'm going to give you just one highlight, one page of this report. Of course, I don't have time for more, okay? But the point here is basically, if you look at this, what is the higher score or higher percentage, right? It's basically talking about operational efficiency and automation. Means that most of those leaders and companies and industries, they are worried or they are interested in using AI exactly in that area. And that's going to be exactly my use case today here that I created for you guys, okay? The last thing, AI is not one new technology that, like many others that appear across the time, right? But instead, what happens is, there are some other topics that should be considered for you to say, hey, yeah, I think I'm going to put AI in my company because it's going to give you this and that benefit. But there are some other things that are extremely important to take care, okay? One of the things is use cases, regulations. So I'm pretty sure different industries, and you guys might be from different industries here, right? It will require different regulations, right? In the middle, cultural aspects, governance. Think about the data generated by AI, or the data that was actually already there in your company. The only thing is, you just did not use the data. Think about one infrastructure equipment you have, right? How many you have? How many is creating data every day on the traffic that passes through that, and so on and so forth, and many other technologies, right? So what are the rules in your company, think about that, to manage that data for the AI right now? This has been one of the great discussions of Cisco, right? I don't know if you saw in the keynote, we are speaking about security over that. That's all about that. That's the second thing. And the third thing is, as I said before, the human factor. Think about AI being used in a chatbot of a hospital to make it more efficient, but we lose the human factor. There are many companies in Europe that they tried to put AI at first and they failed. Why is that? Because they lose the human factor. If you are in a rush, you need somebody to understand your symptom, what you're feeling, right? You don't want a robot talking to you. For the best that the robot is, right? But you need somebody to feel what's going on, right? To care about you, right? That's more or less what we talk about human factor. I gave simple examples, but I'm pretty sure you guys can think of your industry, how this can resonate with your use case. Enough with AI. Again, I don't have much time, so I try to make it short, at least to put everybody in the same page in regards to AI concepts. And now I'm going to jump in the second part, which is, remember I told you I created a story, right? My story is a day in the life of an engineer without AI first, okay? So who is that engineer? Guess who? Me, right? And I'm really an engineer, okay? Then you see myself. So I start my day, think about myself. I'm the guy taking care of a global company organization with a lot of different sites across the world and a lot of different technologies. And then I wake up and I go talk to my manager and he says, oh, you know what? Looks like we're having some issues, right? And he refers like, okay, we are having operation issues, MTTR, MTBI, so we need you to step up and see what's going on and help us with that. And then I start, okay, let me look for pain point number one. Oh, you know what? This is super complex. As I mentioned, I have sites across all the regions, Europe, Asia, Americas, and I don't have the right tools to manage that, which makes my life even harder, right? And it's really complex for me and my team to take care of that without any kind of new technology to help me improve. Of course, I still have the technology, different solutions, different vendors, different dashboards, right? I'm pretty sure you guys like different dashboards, right? Of course not. Then second, okay, mixed technology. I have to manage thousands cameras, sensors, Wi-Fi connections. On top of that, I have all the security parts, right? Everybody's complaining about everything. Each of those things, we have different tools, different people, different line of business take care, right? Is that complex? Is that something that resonates with each of you? Maybe not. Okay, third point, which is important. As I mentioned before, data. Most of the companies today are not taking advantage of the generated data to be better. What I mean with that? What I mean is, look at your data generated every day by your devices and try to analyze the behavior. With that information, if you get that well structured, what's going to happen is you're going to be surprised on how many nice insights you're going to get to move forward in terms of planning, in terms of budgeting, in terms of spending and everything, right? So this is another point. Nobody can do that because there is nobody that's actually looking at that in that company that I put myself in. Last, of course, outages. As a consequence of everything I said, what do you have? Outages cause downtime to the business and blah, blah, blah. Because infrastructure, technology is great until the point that it helps the business. What we forget is what is most important for every company is keep the business running. Second is going to come the IT investments, all of that. You know how it works, right? But in the end, it's like a journey. Every little ball and situation is one thing that if you see that in a good way or you have the right tool and everything, the business is going to be better every day. This was all before AI. Okay? I just told you like a nice story before the AI comes to help you, to help me. Okay? Let's move forward. Now, let me do the same storytelling, but now, assuming you guys have the Meraki, because as I told you, I cannot talk about everything. I would love to, but I don't have time today. So I focus on AI assistant within the Meraki. How many of you use Meraki here? Or are familiar with Meraki? Oh, okay, a lot of people. Great. So, then the point is, number one, here comes, it's Marcelo changed it. It's my AI. Just a joke here. But I started my day again. Same thing, same guy told me the same. Okay, we still have same situation, just for you to compare of having that or not, right? And guess what? Now, each of those things is way more easy for me now because I have the AI assistant help me solve each one of those things in a much more automated way. It's a much more better way so I can perform better, solve things quickly and easy and better. And then, of course, the business is not going to be hurt, right? And then you ask, okay, show me that. Of course, my pleasure. So the next is my last part. I'm going to show you a demo right now on how, of course, kind of similar things, but the idea of this demo is we use the technology inside our own house. So this is the Meraki dashboard for Meraki San Francisco office, as you see in the top left, okay? And here is more or less, I put in a summary way, how many devices we have there managed. And we manage our own infrastructure. We use our own infrastructure, okay? And then you see 168 access points, 106 switches, cameras, etc., right? Then the point here is, let me guide you through like a journey, operational journey. Remember the AI readiness report? We were speaking about what kind of concern for most of the companies, industry, and executives looking after AI, right, to be inserted in their daily basis today in terms of investment. What we are concerned is how we make the operational good, looking good, right? So then let me switch. Let me see if I can bring that. 1 minute, please. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. First thing, for you that any of you already using AI in Meraki here? 1, cool. 2, cool. By the way, it's already available. In the end of the presentation, I'm gonna share how you activate that. It's for free. There's no cost. The point is, once you activate that, you're gonna see this little symbol, which is AI assistant. Just click there. It's gonna open up that chatbot, right? And then here are some of the things that we are able to handle with this chatbot. So network, we can see the alerts, we can see the one utilization, one status, security events, those kind of things, right? We can also, looking at troubleshoot client access points, we can see troubleshoot client device setting inside VPNs, network location, firmware upgrades, switch reboots, authentication failure, a bunch of things related to clients that use the infrastructure. You can see the policy configuration, email alerts, spanning tree root device problems, access policy, so on and so forth. But let's start. First thing, I created a case like I was telling you one day in my life, right? But first thing I prepared for you guys, I call operations run book. Think about this. Marcelo is a guy that takes care of this network. So I arrive every day to work 8 a.m. And what I should do as first thing? This is what I call operations run book. So let me guide you through that. So first thing, first question to the AI chatbot. Let's follow together. What have I missed since my last login? So what happened, basically, since yesterday, 6 p.m., when I left the company, right? And then it's going to give me a lot of insights. So first, okay, who logged in the platform, their login and IP address, what kind of changes that happened, and who did the change, right, at what time. So you see a lot of changes, all logged in. It's going to give you like a very nice summary report on everything that happened. It's a good start, right? For you that arrived to work from yesterday to today, a bunch of things may happen, right? So what happened? Then what kind of event types? You can filter by event type. Okay, here's user login, but let's look at more interesting event types, right? You see wireless event, you see camera event, you see configuration change. Let's look at configuration change, right? Here you see, this one, it was just a description change. Nothing to worry about. But how about this one? Threat protection. It may be affecting some of the users. The idea at the end of this is, the simple command is, I have a summary of what happened since I left yesterday afternoon. Because if somebody calls me at first moment, I want to know what happened, right? Because some of those changes might be correlated to the new ticket system, or somebody call me directly, right? So let's continue. Next, what I'm gonna do. Okay, now that I know what was going on, what can you do for me, Meraki Assistant? And then it's going to show exactly like that. So you see, overall, I can use AI Assistant to solve client things, to solve network management operation things, organization-wide troubleshooting like VPN, RF interference, everything that's covered by Meraki. It's going to use the data generated in each of those devices, and depending on how smart you are when you ask the right question, it's going to give you the right insight. But you can keep iterating. You are not happy with the answer, ask another thing, or ask another thing to be corrected, right? Let me move on. Okay, then it's just going to go through the summary. Okay. Let me go into more specific question. Was network Meraki San Francisco down this morning between 6 a.m. until now? So I started working at 8, right? From 6 to 8. Was there any outage? And the answer was no, there was no outage. And on top of that, it also gave me like a summary health of everything I have managed in this network, which is cool, right? You see that we might have nothing related to wireless, right? Because it's 100% healthy. Okay, let me go deep. Another question. Show me devices that rebooted today in the network. You saw. First, I asked about the summary. Second, okay, there was an outage? No. How about rebooted devices? Different questions, right? But still talking about operations. And then the answer was no. There was no reboots as well. Okay, then I started my day. More calm, relaxed. I may have some time to go grab some coffee, right? And then let's continue. Let's go to the question. Have any device had configuration changes in the past 72 hours? And then the answer was different. Yes, there was some changes in the configuration, right? What were those changes? They are all listed here. And who did the change? Yeah, luckily it's all description change. Description, it doesn't affect operations, right? Luckily. So let's continue. Let's go to the clients now. List clients with connectivity problems with network Meraki San Francisco. Oh, that's great. Now that I know what's going on in the infrastructure, who uses the infrastructure? The clients, right? And then I ask the question, let me investigate the clients. Let me go up and see, okay, are there any problems with any client in the last 2 hours? Yes, there are plenty of problems. Here we go. Maybe if you are an operations guy and you look at, okay, let me look at my ticket system, it may be seeing some correlation between the tickets open and those clients having problems, right? Let's analyze one of those cases, right? Let me go, yeah, still answering like, okay, let me look at the first one. You see the MAC address, one comment. If you do have, for example, Cisco eyes, and you have kind of profiling and things that's going to be translating the MAC address to the name of the user, as soon as he gets access to the network, it's going to get authenticated, and his MAC address is not going to be here, but instead his name, John's laptop, Marcelo's device, whatever. Okay, just a side note. Okay, there is some wireless association failure. Looks like it's flipping from one SSID to the other in different APs. Let's investigate further. It already gives me like a good idea, but let's investigate. Help me troubleshoot the connectivity issue for this client and provide next steps. Not only helping, but provide what can I do, right, to get this solved. Look at that. It gives me like an overview first. This guy is a Chrome OS user connected to Meraki Core. Remember, this guy is the guy flipping between SSIDs, right? VLAN used. And you see that it's flipping in between the SSIDs and the different IPs as well, right? And it gives you exactly what troubleshooting steps, or in other words, what can you go after to investigate in terms of understanding or really solving the issue. It gives you like step by step. Think about a network operations center, how good or how easy it would be for the NOC operator to look at that and just follow, right? It's really like really easy. It's just clicking number one and checking there and move on, right? So moving forward, okay. Now let's change gears here. We spoke about infrastructure first, remember? Second, we spoke about the clients because the clients are connected and use the infrastructure. But what is most important on top of that? is what applications those clients are using, because they are using that to perform their task every day, right? So then let's have a look on that. List all the applications with slow response time on Meraki San Francisco. The same question, but now looking at the applications. Oh, you see? Those are the applications, right? With slow response time. We have Office 365, Salesforce. Oh, pretty common. Maybe everybody has those applications, right? So then, okay, it gives me like an idea, right? Connection timeout. Let's investigate further. Why does the Office 365 application have slow response times? On the Meraki San Francisco, blah, 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 right? Let's see the answer. Okay, so then, really nice. It's gonna tell me, okay, basically what is the problem here? Is the connection timeout after 1970, 100 milliseconds, right? So then it's gonna come with possible causes, recommend next steps, so on and so forth. But the idea here is, use exactly the AI assistant. You saw different flavors from the infrastructure to the client connectivity. Client connectivity could be wired, wireless, gonna help you all the way, and ending up on the applications. You can do even more things. The thing is, I did not have time. My time is short, but the idea of this session was introduce you to the AI, in case you never heard about. I'm just joking here again. Second thing was, let me show you exactly how Meraki can help you with the AI assistant, okay? And third thing is how we actually suggest you to start. This was one example. Can I customize my own runbook? Yes, of course. You should do this. You should look at your operations, at your engineering. I gave an example as operations, right? But you could focus on engineer or anything that is more important for you in your company. The idea is the AI assistant is there. There is one little thing that I'm going to mention here. It's called prompt engineering. How many of you heard about prompt engineer, or at least have knowledge? Okay. Prompt engineer is basically how you ask questions. That's the way I simplify. Okay, I like to simplify. I'm the simplificator here, right? So the point is, the better you ask questions, the better the AI assistant is going to give you the output you expect to make your business flow smoothly, right? And with that, you're going to save a bunch of time for your business to always be working, right? Reduce the MTTR, MTBF, as my fictitious manager was complaining about, so on and so forth. Just to finish, let me just switch it back here real quick. Okay. Okay then, so just to finish, this is where the AI assistant is going to be. Most of the platforms, they are already there. Meraki, as I mentioned, Thousand Eyes, a couple of others. And again, if you're interested, go back to one of those booths. Each of them, they are able to explain to you what is the roadmap if it's not there yet. If you're interested in, of course, right? Go for it. And call to action to you guys, as I mentioned in the beginning, right? For the ones that already have Meraki, it's easy. Just go to your dashboard, organization, configure, early access, turn on here, and then it's gonna take a while, but somebody's gonna send you an automatic email saying, hey, your AI assistant is enabled, and then that symbol of AI assistant in the top is gonna start appearing when you enter your dashboard, okay? Okay, so with that, guys, I highly recommend you and ask you, please fulfill the report of this evaluation form of this session, because it's important for us to get better. Thank you again for being here. I know it was quick and short, because this session means to be quick and short. Thank you very much again for your time, and hope you enjoy the rest of Cisco Live.